Hi everyone, so today I'll be showing you how to make sushi. Now, I am no expert, so I will be making mistakes, but this is how I make sushi, and this is how it tastes good to me. Obviously not professional, but it still tastes good. So our first fish that we have is salmon. Now, the salmon that we bought still has the skin on. You're gonna wanna take that off for eating sushi. And now, you have a perfectly cut salmon skin. Like I said, I'm no expert. I'm actually gonna cook this and eat it though, so I'm gonna put that on the side because it's really good. So the next thing you do is you take the salmon, make sure your hands are washed before you go touching the fish, and you cut it into thin stripes. Kind of like this. There. Now you got your salmon cut and you can put it back. Alright, so the second fish we have here is tuna. Now anyone who knows me knows that I'm against tuna. But today is my tuna eating day. From now onwards. So you take the tuna and you do the same thing you did with the salmon, and you just cut it. And now you have your tuna. Alright, so next we have surimi. I don't know if I can find one. Oh, this one here. They unfold like this, but they already come in a roll, and some people call them crab sticks or fish sticks. Like, I've heard the weirdest things, but they're surimi, and you can just, place them next to each other like that in the sushi, and you're set to go with these. Okay, and another thing we have are medium-sized shrimps, and these came without the shells, thankfully, and all you gotta do is peel off the tail so that the skin stays on the meat, and you have the tail, and you just do that to all of them. Sometimes they'll be harder to pull off the tail, and this meat might go along. It's perfectly fine. It's nothing to really worry about, except that the best part of the meat has gone missing, but that's not a tragedy. Like, this one won't come up. There we go. Now you have the dirt pile here and the shrimps here, and they are ready to be used for sushi. Now, last but not least, for the pescados, we got shrimp, which is not pescado, but that's okay. This one is a large shrimp, and the good thing about it is the whole shell is off, even the tail, so you got this like fin texture of a tail. And these are your shrimp that you'll be putting on the sushi. And now on to the vegetables. So next you have the cucumber, and if you don't like the peel, take off the peel. I'm not a person who is picky with the peel, so it's fine for me. Also, some people like to take out the seeds, which is fine too. I'm not picky with those either, so I'm gonna leave them on. And so you just cut it in half and another half, and then you just cut it into thin stripes. And now you got your sliced cucumbers. And next you have the avocados. I'm not going to be eating this because I personally find them of bad taste, but I will do it anyway. And avocados are really silly vegetables or fruits or whatever they are, because they're just super weird to cut and super fragile and God knows what. But there you go, you got the avocado. And now I have my special spoon that has cuts on the side, like it's like a knife, but it's a spoon, especially made for like kiwis and avocados and silly fruits like that decide to stick to their skin for whatever reason. They know they're going to be eaten. And you just kind of try to get the whole thing out nicely, all in one go. As always, Chili is not an expert at anything she does, but at least I try. Et voila. You got yourself a beautiful half of an avocado. And from here you just take it and you carefully cut it because you don't want to squish it. And now you got your avocado. Okay, so next is the sushi rice. I already made it, but basically what my sushi rice recipe said was for every 250 grams of sushi rice, you add 350 milliliters of cold water, meaning you put 350 milliliters of cold water into a pan, you add the sushi, you bring it to a boil, and after bringing it to a boil, you let it simmer with the lid on for 10 minutes, and after that you let it sit and cool down for 15 minutes with the stove off. Then you need to make the marinade for the rice so that it's sticky and tastes good, in which case you take 5 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of sugar, always in that ratio, and you mix it together, and then after you cook it up, and as soon as it's cooking you take it off the stove and you pour it over the rice that has already sat there for 15 minutes with the lid on, and you mix it together and you got yourself sushi rice. So now I will show you how to roll the sushi. You need seaweed, and you just buy it in packets like this, and there's plenty of them in there, so don't buy 2 packs. And it's basically just this square of seaweed, and you put it on here, and then you take the rice. Make sure your hands are washed, because I always do it by hand. I'm sure there are other ways to do it, and that's fine by me. This is just how I do it. And you just kind of take some rice and spread it evenly over about 1/3 to half of the paper, or well, seaweed. Good. Now it's very sticky, stays on the fingers, whatever. Let's take salmon. You just, since it does, line it up along on the rice so that it's evenly spread out, and you know, that everyone gets plenty. There. Alright, then you take it along with this bamboo thing here, and you roll it over. Usually it shouldn't be falling out. And you just kind of squish it together into a round cylindrical form, and you just do that over and over, and you just kind of push it together so that it sticks. And there you go, you got your roll of sushi. Now you put it down and take a knife and you just cut it into pieces like this. My seaweed has kind of dried out a bit too much, so it's not the best to work with, but I left the package open for weeks. Now you got yourself sushi rolls. And that, my friends, is the end of how to make sushi. So here are our finished sushi, and as you can see there is plenty, and we got a little risky and put tuna and cucumber together into one. I'm not sure why this is unfocused, probably because I'm not using the focus, but you guys get the point that you will be making delicious sushi. Yes, it is fairly insanely good.